and put the cross checks on the horse. And what he's indicating in the back is that he likes elevation. The feet are totally out of balance. You can see that he had a natural balance shoe on that was pushed out to the front of the foot. So the shoe was actually put on over the distortion. So in the front, he didn't give me a clear indication of what he liked and what he didn't like. He's kind of a stoic horse. So when I see that they're sore, out with elevation in the back and elevation in the front and medial laterally, I like to put him in a clog for a shoeing or two, because that gives him relief all the way around. And what we're doing when you're going to go to hoof mapping, I know you studied it, and what you studied was taught by Mark Plumley to another farrier, and I know your farrier was in a good school. What we're going to do is we're going to replicate in the mapping this wild horse's foot. And all the lines that you're going to put on that horse came from this wild horse study in the mid-'80s by Jane Overnick. You can see the pillars in the back of the foot and the pillars in the front, and when those are properly identified, you can actually put a cross between the front and rear pillars, and it'll go right to the widest part of the foot. So it's a good way to test yourself when you're hoof mapping to see if you're on track with it. Your horse has retained soles, so when we go to clean that foot out, I'm going to teach you how to look at the live sole. When you reach the live sole, that's going to be the indicator that you're level with the pedal bone all the way around. And that's a big indicator, because he's sheared in a couple of feet, and that's because he's out of balance. Now the ligaments that get into a big problem in the foot, one is the collateral sigmoidian ligament that wraps around the P2, and it attaches to the top of the navicular bone. The other one is the impar ligament, which attaches to the bottom of the navicular bone. So when the horse is out of balance, these two ligaments take the biggest beating out of all of them. Because what you're dealing with here is a half a joint. If you look over here, you can see these bones should line up like this. But when you take this navicular bone out right here, you've got a half a joint. This navicular bone makes up the rest of the joint. So when he is long-toed and striking toe first, he's driving the P2 right down on top of that navicular bone and pushing against the deep flexor tendon. So he has negative palmar in the back. We have two indicators. We have a somewhat closed up central sulcus, bullnose foot, and the line hits far above the knee. So what happens there is that this joint actually opens up right here. When they're in the negative position. That P2 drives right down by that joint, the top of that joint. You can see how this P2 has dropped in the extensor process. And when we elevate the back of the feet, we're setting that joint the way it should be, so that gives them more support. I think if we do all these things, he should be all right.
Okay.
Just go like that.